Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com. And we have 3 garage doors here in our studio at Motorhead Garage. And usually when it rains at night, we'll come in and find that there are puddles all over the floor in the morning. So that is why we called GARADRY. Ashley Smith is the founder and the managing director at GARADRY. Ashley, thanks for being with us.
Hello, Dave. Thank you for having me on your show.
Ashley, in short, what does GARADRY do?
At GARADRY, we sell an innovative range of weather seals for garages. Our threshold seals are for residential and commercial doors. Basically, the product is a dam for the garage. It stops water ingress in the garage, stops leaves and dust coming in under the garage, and it stops the need for having to sweep out all of the rubbish and dirt and water in the garage on the weekend.
GARADRY has a great reputation around the world, and you've been around for a long, long time. So how did the company get started, Ashley?
It all started in 2009. GARADRY was formed in the United Kingdom. We started to get quite a bit of interest in Europe, so we started selling the products in France and Germany and Scandinavia. And then soon after that, we branched out to Australia. And then after a few years, we started getting quite a few calls and emails from our American friends over the pond. And we decided to form GARADRY LLC in 2017. So we set up a company in Atlanta, Georgia, and we have a fulfillment center in Tennessee where all the products are dispatched to our customers.
How does a GARADRY system work?
Basically, the thresholds are stuck to the garage floor behind the door. All threshold kits come with GARADRY adhesive, specially formed MS polymer adhesive. How it works, the garage door comes down and sits onto the front edge of the threshold, and the adhesive bonds the threshold to the floor, creating a watertight seal. So it basically forms the dam across your garage, which stops any water ingress coming underneath your garage.
All right, and now the question I'm sure everyone wants to know, what's it like to install products from GARADRY?
The products are very easy to install. All you need is a utility knife or a junior hacksaw, and you also need a chalking gun for the adhesive. The products are very simple, and most installations should take a customer under an hour to fit.
I've checked out these thresholds from GARADRY, and they're a unique material, something like I've never seen. Can you tell me what they're made of?
Yes, the residential thresholds are made from a material called thermoplastic. Thermoplastic was chosen because it's extremely durable, and it's also the perfect material when a product is in contact with water a lot of the time. The products also have a unique feature to them. They all have co-extruded yellow lines. These co-extruded yellow lines have a really important feature and reason why they're put onto the products. When the threshold is fitted and installed on the floor, it acts as high visibility lines, allowing people to safely step over the product.
I've also checked out GARADRY's line, and I see there's a whole bunch of different lengths and heights for the product. Heights from a ½ inch up to 2 inches high, and GARADRY has a whole range of lengths so you can be sure their thresholds are going to fit your garage door. GARADRY's unique design also means that if you already have a gasket on the bottom of the door, which a lot of you do, you can just leave that on there. The GARADRY threshold can work with it to form a watertight seal. And GARADRY does more than just residential seals. They also have a range of commercial aluminum seals as well. Those are designed to withstand 50 tons. That's enough to stand up to the weight of trucks, forklifts, pallet jacks, tractors, and even small airplanes. Yeah, a lot of folks use these in hangars as well. You can install GARADRY on all types of garage floors, anywhere from asphalt to epoxy to tile and everything in between. Ashley, thanks so much for being with us, and we especially thank you for joining us at this late hour there in the UK.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for having me on the show. I do appreciate it.
Of course, GARADRY is not the only product in the garage seal space, but it is the premium choice. Their products are made in England, where they can ensure quality control on everything that leaves the factory. You'll get a 5-year warranty and great customer service. Plus, here in the U.S., It all ships to you quickly from Tennessee. Take care of those puddles on your garage floor. You can go to GARADRY.com to see how it all works. We'll return with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so do not move.
Some high-performance facts. Top-field dragsters are the fastest accelerating manned vehicles on the planet. They can cover a 1,000-foot drag strip in just over 3.5 seconds. The cars burn about 15 gallons of nitromethane fuel over the course of a single run, and the top speed, 338 miles an hour. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, is brought to you by Rhino Rack, make space for adventure, Shade Wagon, throw some shade, and by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. Now, whether you have a vehicle like this magnificent 1970 Chevelle owned by Mark Honeycutt, or just a daily driver, you know you want your car to last a long, long time. The car's your baby. You want it to perform better and be more efficient while you're driving it, and that is where PROLUBE enters the picture. Now, first here, Eli, we want to talk about PROLUBE's heritage because it was tried and tested early on in a really tough environment. How did PROLUBE get its start?
Yeah, absolutely. So my grandfather, Paul Wireman, he started a Riverside drag strip and speedway back in 1960s, and it lasted to about the 70s.
It's up in Ohio.
Up in Ohio, yes, sir. And he had his start in racing, early 20-year-old, and then he went up to racing street stocks and that sort of thing. So racing has always been in our family and has always been a part of what we do.
And that is where he developed lubricants that he was able to field test there in the motorsports world, and later on then servicing actual passenger vehicles as well.
Yep. So he owned a auto center where they worked on vehicles all the time, and they just were trying to find ways to enhance vehicles' performance and prevent them from breaking down.
And before we go any further, every time someone sees an oil additive or an engine additive, they say it's snake oil. So what do you say, Eli, to the folks that come right out and say, oh, that's got to be snake oil? What do you tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time we hear somebody that says that, we just simply say, don't be shy, give us a try.
I looked at your website, and there's a bunch of reviews from real people that use PROLUBE, and the first thing a lot of them say is, this is not snake oil, it really works. So when you're using your oil additive there, what kind of results can folks expect from PROLUBE?
Yeah, exactly. So our main oil additive is going to be the PROLUBE oil treatment, and what really makes it different from everything else is it's an actual metal conditioner, so it has friction modifiers, additives built into it, and it's going to condition the metal of the internals of your engine, so it's not just going to be a regular, petroleum-based additive like that.
It's not just for your engine oil. Where else can you use it?
That's exactly right. So what makes this product different is that you can also use it not only in your engine, but your transmission, gearbox, power steering pump, and differentials.
And how much do you need then when you're using it?
Yeah, so what a lot of people are accustomed to with the oil additive market is that you have to use an entire quart in your motor. With our product, that's not the case. So we have all of our directions on the back for all of the components that you can use our product in and the treatment ratios. So the most simple one that we have is 2 ounces of PROLUBE per quart of motor oil.
And you have plenty of left over for the rest of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And you guys make it easy too, because you sell the cup with the ounces right on it. Why?
Yep. So we've been getting a lot of calls into the shop about people's wives calling us pretty upset. They're like, hey, my husband's been using my glass measuring cup out of the kitchen, and I want to give him something that, he can get dirty. So we're like, okay, let's come out with a measuring cup.
All right, guys, so this will save your engine and this will save your marriage. Just remember that. You got some other stuff here on the table. This is for air tools. Of course, those need to be lubricated as well. How do you use that? How much do you need to use?
Yeah, so air tools, as you know, use very little. So just every time you use your air tool, just put a couple drops in there, and that also has our metal conditioning friction modifier additives built into that as well.
We've seen that with the engine oil additive, and then here with the air tool lubricant, it's going to last a long, long time.
Absolutely, yeah. So with our products, what we really pride ourselves on is a little bit goes a long way.
All right, and then on to the grease here. This is not just a typical grease, the red sticky stuff you see all the time. How is it different?
So first off, right off the bat, if you feel the texture of it, it's going to be a lot more slick, and that's due to our metal conditioners that we add to the red lithium high temp grease. And what it makes that do is, instead of just a traditional grease where you have to replace it, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, this grease will last twice, sometimes even 3 times longer.
you listen a lot. We talked about the cups, and that was kind of a funny story, but you listen a lot to your customers. And what do they have to say, and what kind of changes do you make based on what they tell you?
Yeah, so the feedback has been very great. A lot of them report that a lot smoother operation in their vehicle and that their oil change intervals are lasting a lot longer.
Very cool. That's exactly what you're going for.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, you were started over 40 years ago by your grandfather, and the company is still family owned and it's still very small.
Yes.
Why is that important to you to still remain that way and stay true to your heritage?
Yeah, the main reason is because we want to keep the quality of our product the same, and we want to make sure that, you know, if all of our hands are on it and touching it, we can make sure that the quality is going to be the best that it can possibly be. And if there's ever an issue, we know exactly what happened, how to fix it, and make it right with the customers.
Well, it's insurance for a new vehicle. It'll keep your older vehicle running smooth for a long, long time. You can find it at PROLUBEoil.com and see what this is all about. Try it for yourself. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com, so don't go away.
Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, coming to you from the Shade Wagon Studio.
This is Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. We are hanging out with our friends from AP Laser, and they've brought in hundreds of people from all over the country to celebrate LaserCon. It's a chance for all of the users of AP Laser to get together, share ideas, and to learn from the experts. And a lot of them are making stuff for the automotive industry.
One of the fun things is etching glass. We can etch side glass or back glass, but for custom hot rods and so on, it gives another level of customization that they don't usually find other places. In addition to that, we can do metal, we can laser mark valve covers, and there's a lot of different things you can do with interiors, working with the people to customize their cars. This is probably the third or fourth LaserCon I've been to. Each one gets bigger and better. The thing that's impressive is you look around this and you realize this is not a selling show. This show is designed for the users, the existing customers.
I first heard of AP Laser when I was watching an episode of Motorhead Garage back in January of last year, and fast forward a few months later, I decided to open a business up with laser that I purchased from seeing that video. Never knew AP Laser was even there. I'm making cups and pens for the dealerships themselves, so that when people purchase a vehicle itself, I had a couple of dealerships actually come by, and they're actually purchasing the pens they hand out with everybody. And the tumblers itself, I put their entire logo right on there, so when they leave, not just a shirt or hat or a pen, which they may have given away before, now the cup itself goes along with them, so it's a walking billboard wherever they go. They may look over and see that cup and say, hey, where'd you get that from? And then they'll have the dealership name right on there.
Our buddy Tristan here is the head of the tech department at AP Laser, and a lot of these folks making these parts and accessories for cars are using the fiber laser. And why is that the optimal tool for them?
Absolutely. So with this machine here, you don't require any marking spray. So that's what makes it unique, is that you're able to take raw materials such as stainless steel, metal, brass, and able to place it directly inside the laser and begin marking with it. The other benefits here we both know is that time is money. When we're talking racing, every second counts. With this machine here, we're able to engrave up to 470 inches per second and utilize our time for what really matters.
And another thing that may lead to better productivity and being able to do a bigger variety of parts is the open architecture.
Yeah, so our open architecture here allows us to roll in larger components in there without having to position them awkwardly inside of a machine. It also allows us to have better ergonomics for the operator of the equipment there, which is, again, a big topic there.
There are a lot of shops out there, folks are kind of set in their ways because they've been doing it for years and years, and they might want to upgrade to a laser, they might need to upgrade to something better, but they might be resistant because of the technology. How can AP Laser help them get going when they buy a new laser?
So AP Laser, the biggest benefit that we have at our company is that we are 24/7 technical support, and that is 365. You know, you call us at 2 o'clock in the morning, the machine's down, you're running a production line, you don't have time to wait for anything like this. You give us a shout, we're right there with you trying to diagnose exactly what the problem is occurring with that machine. As well, like you spoke about with learning curve, we are there to walk you through step by step every single question, problem, you know, general inquiry that you have. We are right there with you to make sure that you are successful in your business. We have a big saying in our tech department there, which is customer success is our success. We take that a lot to heart, and as you've probably seen with this conference here as well, a lot of our customers do as well.
And speaking to that, customers are meeting other customers here, and they're getting ideas from each other, but how can they interface with other users from day to day?
Sure, absolutely. So we have a Facebook page called AP Laser User Group. It's a large community of people that like to not only share their work, but also go there for advice. You know, you may be encountering a problem with your engraving, something that's not looking right with your design. You're more than welcome at any point as a user with AP Laser to reach out to your fellow colleagues, and everybody there is incredibly supportive to make sure that you are getting your job done and successful with our machines.
Another roadblock people might think they're going to face when buying a new piece of equipment is the cost. And how can AP Laser help people afford getting a new laser?
Absolutely. So we have a variety of financing options with our machines. As well, we do various programs throughout the year, such as trade-in and trade-up. So say you have an older machine or a piece of equipment that you're looking to upgrade that is an AP Laser branded machine. You're able to get that quoted by us and then upgrade to newer equipment as well. So there's a couple different objects, or opportunities I should say, that we provide. Whether you are a new user or an old user, there are different avenues that you can approach for getting into the game and beginning out lasering.
If you go to aplaser.com, you can find the fiber laser and their whole variety of lasers. They're going to help you be more productive and make more money in your business. aplaser.com. By the way, if you tell them you're a Motorhead Garage viewer, you'll get a special discount. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by DragonFireTools.com. We'll see you in a few.
Massachusetts and Missouri were the first states to require driver's licenses way back in 1903. But it wasn't necessary for drivers to actually take a test. Which state was the first to require both an exam and a license for all drivers? Ohio, Indiana, New Jersey, or Rhode Island? It was Rhode Island in 1908. Coincidentally, the same year the Model T made its debut. Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, industrial workbenches with integrated tool storage, and brought to you by PaintedAutoBodyParts.com, the leading U.S. auto body parts online store, AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, and by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977.
Man, now that's good oil pressure. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. That's what we're talking about, oil pressure. What should you have and what should you not have? Well, nobody wants to see that. Zero oil pressure, not a good thing. Where does it all start? Right there at the oil pump. The oil pump's gonna shoot it up through all the oil galleries, and we're gonna lubricate things like the camshaft bearings, the main bearings. Everything needs good lubrication. Now, oil pressure should be anywhere, you can see here, between 10 and 15 at idle, 30 to 40 PSI when you get it up there a little higher RPM. What you don't want is an engine that looks like this. We actually took this one out here at the shop, and you can see it here. I mean, this is a mess. This one hasn't been changed, and it absolutely does not have AMSOIL in there. You can see it right here. The sludge, the followers, the cam bearings, everything on this motor wiped out, done. Where did it all get wiped out? Well, look at the oil pan. Here he comes. Man, all the debris and metal and everything ended up down there in the oil pan. Len, that's not good. That's not good at all, man. Oil pressure's key, even on high mileage vehicles.
Yeah, that's correct. You want to make sure that you're keeping the engine clean, which is what that graphic that you have there is showing, is that we want to make sure the engine stays clean. And then we also, any dirt, any impurities, anything that process of combustion produces, you want to make sure that it ends up in the oil filter.
Yeah, and you guys got one right here, Cutaway. You guys got high quality product here, drain back valve, everything. So you're not going to have any problems with this oil filter.
Yep, that's one of our high mileage oil filters that you have there. That thing is good for up to 25,000 miles. So it has a lot of capacity to handle dirt.
Now, viscosity plays an important role with oil pressure as well.
It does. And as we look at some of these new vehicles out there, the thin viscosity that they're requiring, it's really crazy. 0.16s are becoming very, very popular. That's a very thin oil. That means it doesn't have an opportunity to thin out as it heats up, as most oils do. On the other end of that spectrum, you have your traditional 20W50. You know, there's a lot of protection in there. There's a lot of cushion, if you will, in there because the viscosity is heavier. Point is, use what's required in your owner's manual, or check with your engine builder.
Make sure you use AMSOIL. No oil pressure can result in your engine becoming a hunk of molten metal. Don't let that happen. Go to AMSOIL.com. They got you covered for whatever you drive.
We found our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week at a cruise-in in East Tennessee. It's retired coal miner Gary Baker. And let me tell you, retirement has allowed Gary to create some rolling masterpieces, including this 1987 Chevy R10. It's the first vehicle that caught our eye there in the parking lot, and it's one of the best looking square body trucks I have ever seen. And with the 454 crate engine under the hood, it's also one of the best sounding trucks I've come across. And if you think this one is great, check out the truck that Gary didn't bring to the cruise-in. It's a 71 Chevy stepside called Stella May, and it's been featured in Motor Trend and all kinds of other publications and websites. The truck came from Arizona, and it still has the original patina. That looks really cool, but it does not have the original power. That comes courtesy of an LS motor from a 2004 Corvette. Two beauties from Gary Baker, our PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. You don't have to build cars or collect cars to be the Motorhead of the Week. You just have to dig cars or racing, or just like the show, Motorhead Garage. Go to MotorheadGarage.tv. Tell us why you or someone you know should be the PaintedAutoParts.com Motorhead of the Week. And you've got 1 week to do it because Motorhead Garage, presented by DragonFireTools.com, returns in 7 days. We'll see you then.